Philosophy and Science Part 1. Philosophy and Science in the Classical Age. Do you not perceive that God is made subservient to the all that is between the heavens and the earth? Quran 31:20. The Quran grants humanity the keys to the heavens and the earth. Muslims use these codes to discover the mysteries of nature throughout their golden age, and they built a civilization that was a wonder to the rest of the world. They then went beyond their capabilities. They attempted to use these keys to solve the puzzle of revelation itself. Reaction started, and it was occasionally violent. The door to philosophical investigation was shut after the keys were lost. Natural scientists were still tolerated, but only on the periphery of the intellectual community. In response, nature turned away the Muslims, and other civilizations received the world's wealth as a gift. The original focus of Islamic thinking was all-encompassing. It covered politics, sociology, science, technology, kalam, logic, tasawwuf, and fiqh. The strategy was both logical and empirical, but it always rested on Tawheed's overarching paradigm. Muslim scientists contributed significantly to the understanding of nature for more than 500 years, from 750 to 1258, during the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad. They attempted to govern nature by knowledge rather than surrender to it through superstition. For instance, Muslims created the idea of infinity because they thought the divine transcended all things and that nature continuously manifested divine will. Because they thought that the movement implied in the divine will to express itself was the source of many patterns in nature, Muslims also developed algebra. Similar to this, the idea of zero was separately discovered by the Mayans of the Americas and the Hindus of India. In this essay, we only briefly honor the Muslim scientists and intellectuals who contributed to the advancement of human civilization. These academics not only supported the Islamic civilization but also advanced other civilizations and added to the body of human knowledge. During the reign of Caliph Ma'mun, Muhammad bin Musa al-Khwarizmi, d. 840, flourished during the height of Islamic science. He combined the mathematical expertise of the Indian and Greek schools while also making his own outstanding contributions. He is most known for a regressive mathematical analytical technique that the world still honors by referring to as an algorithm. He developed trigonometric sine and tangent functions, introduced the idea of differentiation, created astronomical tables, worked on clocks and astrolabes, and provided analytical answers to quadratic equations. He was also a member of the team that measured the degree of an arc around the Earth's circumference as directed by Caliph Ma'mun. Born to Jewish parents, Ali ibn Rabah al-Tabari, d. 870, converted to Islam and went on to become one of the most illustrious doctors of the classical era. The most complete compilation of medical information of the planets is 7 Encyclopedia of Medicine. Al-Tabari discusses a variety of topics in it, including medical concepts, anatomy, food, disorders of various bodily parts and their causes, taste and color, medications and medicine, and the impact of climate on health. A discussion of Ayurvedic, Indian, medicine is included. Yaqub ibn Ishaq al-Kindi, d. 873, worked at the court of Ma'mun and produced fundamental advancements in the fields of astronomy, mathematics, music, and chemistry. As a Mu'tazilite who suffered at the hands of the Ash'arites when al-Mutawakkil assumed the caliphate, he too lost favor with the Baghdad court. He investigated the synthesis of sounds to create musical harmony as well as the relationship between the frequency and pitch of notes. In contrast to the alchemists of the day, He advocated the idea that base metals could not be transformed into gold by understanding the chemical properties of various elements. He was the first to research the ideal medication dosage for treating illnesses of the body. One of the best doctors of the 10th century was Muhammad ibn Zakaria al-Razi, d. 930. He was the first to distinguish between smallpox and chickenpox, compare them, and highlight the impact of stress and food on health. The medical knowledge that was available from Greek and Muslim sources was meticulously compiled by him. He was the first to create sulfuric acid, and he created compound medicines by formulating and synthesizing them using his broad chemical understanding. Like the majority of Mutazilites, he was also regarded with distrust by Muslims his own generation. The earliest empirical historian of Islam was Abul Hasan Ali al-Masudi, d. 957. He was a Mutazilite philosopher who served the Fatimid court in Cairo, where logical ideas were received better than they were in Abbasid Baghdad. He visited places including Persia, India, Sri Lanka, Malaya, China, Madagascar, East Africa, and North Africa, and he wrote a 30-volume documentary about his views of these places and their inhabitants. He provided critical analysis to the historical process and was 500 years before Ibn Khaldun, the great Marabi philosopher. The greatest scientist of the Middle Ages, Abu Ali al-Hussein ibn Sina, d. 1037, was born close to Bukhara in the year 980. He was a great student who, before the age of 17, had mastered mathematics, philosophy, medicine, and the sciences of the Quran. Ibn Sina worked for the rulers of Bukhara, Khwarazm, Hamadan, and Isfahan in succession. His massive work Quanan fi al-Tib, an encyclopedia of all medical knowledge available at the time, is well known in the scientific community. For 600 years, the Quanan was a required reading in universities throughout Europe after being translated into Latin. His original contributions include the detection of infectious diseases like tuberculosis, the transmission of diseases by water and food, the connection between mental health and physical health, the identification of meningitis, healthy child care, and human anatomy. In addition, Ibn Sina developed the ideas of force, heat, energy, and the speed of light. He also created a calculator that is similar to a vernier and a thermometer. Ibn Sina also conducted experiments to rule out the possibility of elemental transmutation. He also was considered somewhat of a heretic by later Muslims due to his intellectual views. His influence was therefore felt more in Europe than in Asia or Africa.